Hello, this is John Clark, and I'm going to talk through Assignment 0701, War and Random Numbers. I'm going to start out by running the program. Okay, I've run this on volumes up to 1 million numbers, but for this run I've set it to 10,000. I list the first 25 random numbers that are produced out of those 10,000, as you can see here. I show the minimum value, the maximum value, the mean value. I've also calculated standard deviation and then a z-score for the 10,000. I'm going to jump now to the code and just talk through that. So I start out by opening the book. I set the maximum number of characters to run through, which is the number of characters in the book minus 4,000. I stay away from the beginning and the ending of the book as I was concerned about blank spaces and other sort of non-varied text. I also have a seed function that I make liberal use of to set the initial seed, and then that's revised as we go through different cycles of the program. I use the timestamp and cycle through the digits in the timestamp in a reverse order, which I'll get into later. The cycle seed variable, which you see here, helps to keep track of that. I also set the offset to be 963 characters, which is the number of characters I increment after each individual random number is generated, and that's kept track of by a cursor variable. Moving into the loop that creates the random numbers, I cycle through, initially starting out with the seed and then cycling through with the offset. If I hit end of file, I invoke some logic to create a new seed. Now let's jump to the random method. There we go. I set an increment of 43, which is the number of characters that are skipped after every character is read during the generation of one random number. I've got a variable called self-bookpointer that helps keep track of where the cursor is. I create a table for each random number that's generated, and I add characters in the first two columns to that table. Determine which is greater of the two characters, assign a 1 or 0, and then place it into that third column, and then calculate the fraction percentage for the base 2 calculation, which is put into the fourth column. One thing to mention, I again was concerned about blanks and repetitive text, and so if the two characters are equal, I basically do not generate a table entry and go back again. Finally, I go through the 32 table entries and using the fraction, add each of those up, and I return the random number. Looking at the seed function now, there's an optional cycle digit that I mentioned earlier, which can be passed to it. If there isn't one, it is set to -1. I call the timestamp function, convert it to a string, and remove the floating point dot. Then I create a 4-digit seed working backwards from the end of the timestamp, convert that to an integer, and then pass it back. There is some logic here that avoids creating low seed numbers, again, because I was, being consistent and staying away from the beginning and the end of the book. So that's it, end of video.